right, thank you very much. Calvin, thank you very much for that. We will move right away, my friends. You've been hearing from the PPP, particularly of a group called the PYO. Well, before 2011, and even right after that, there was no PYO, you know. Now they're coming out to tell you youngsters out there that, look, you have a future. You are the future of this country. And you know what? I'm surprised that even the educated ones, the ones who are better educated and some who are talking to them, allow them to go and lead them astray. My brothers and sisters, I will bring to this microphone a young person. As she talks to you about her experiences, perhaps her views on what affects the youngsters. Let us welcome to this microphone the young lady called Shirla Scott.
Berbice, are you ready? Guyana, are you ready? It is time. It is time. I stand as a proud Guyanese in this timeline of our political climate. I stand to say it is time. And tonight, I salute our president in waiting, Brigadier David Granger. I salute our Prime Minister in waiting, Mr. Moses Nagamutu. It is time that respect, dignity, and honor be restored to our country. And by voting for Mr. Granger and Moses Nagamutu will ensure us such. It is time, my comrades. Too many of our young people took time out to go to school, up to university, and today they are shopkeepers. Today they are without jobs. It is time that our educated people and population be given proper jobs. Too many of our women has been brutalized over the past 20 years. I don't know if our men are taking some practices from certain leaders of our nations. We read that a certain leader of our nation, wife, was locked out of her matrimonial home. It is time that respect and honor be given to the women of this country. How can we allow our sugar industry to deteriorate to the state that it is? We must remember that our sugar industry is the bedrock and can still be the bedrock of this nation. Barbicians, get up, get ready. It is time. I ask you today, be not complacent. Be not complacent. We must get up on May the 11th, 2015. Ensure that every person in your household, names are on the list. Please ensure that every member in your community, their names are on the list. And come May the 11th, 2015, we stand arm, we set up, we hit the polls, we place that X next to the N that unlocks the key. Apnu-Afc, victory to Mr. Granger, victory to Moses Nagamutu, victory to a prosperous Guyana.
Yeah, it's time, we voting change. I say it's time, we voting change.
My brothers and sisters, how can you even listen to people when they tell you that you ought not to trust the people who want to lead you. With a young lady like that, with the voice you heard, with the kind of enthusiasm that she has delivered, her complaints to you, her concerns, do you believe, honestly, that she cannot lead us? Never. This is the kind of person we need. In her, I hope you youngsters can see a true, vibrant leader. Like the leaders and all the others who are putting themselves to the front line here in a bid to lead you, to lead Guyana to better and better all the days of our lives for the rest of us. My brothers and sisters, it is, for me, the second time that I've seen this individual. I heard her speak. Right away, you know it's a her, right? Good. She is a Guyanese, of course, but she has traveled. She has been educated. She got a degree, a Bachelor of Arts from York University in Canada. She went on to do her master's at the University of London, and that's England, so you know she comes with Canadian and British experience. She is one of the major, or I should say major, very significant subscriber to the Rotary clubs in Guyana here, particularly in Georgetown. My brothers and sisters, she is the founder and trustee of the Guyana Foundation, and she is now the director of Demerara Designs Limited. Let us put our hands together as we welcome another hot, sassy, very dynamic, very persuasive, and again, very qualified young lady. Let us welcome Mrs. Supriya Singh Bodden. I hope I'm saying the last name correct.
Yeah, oh, it's time, we want to change. I say it's time, we want to change. This year we want to change and we are voting for unity. What people want, nation, what yesterday is the place to be. Put your eggs inside the box next to the palm and key. Everybody in the country shout out Apnu-Afc. It's David Granger, Moses Nagamoto. On election day, we electing you.
Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. I respectfully greet all of you, citizens of Berbice and all Guyanese. I say a respectful good evening to our President-in-Waiting, Mr. David Granger and Mrs. Granger, Mr. Moses Nagamoto and Mrs. Nagamoto, and all the other leaders that are gathered here on this stage and perhaps off this stage as well. I say a very good evening to all of you and may God bless you all. My name is Supriya Singh and I have come to Whim to have a conversation with you. I will speak about things tonight, but at the heart of the message that I bring to you is that this is a historic time. I want you to remember where you are standing tonight. I would like you all to reach for your cell phones and take a selfie. Why? Because this picture is going to be one you will show your children in years to come. It will be a historic picture. You are now being carried on the wings of change that are blowing through Guyana. As the sun rises on the 12th of May, there will be a change of government. This will signal a new time when you, the people of Guyana, whether you can read or write, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are Indian or black or any other color, whether you're a man, woman, or youth, this will signal a time when you can finally begin to tell your elected officials what you want them to do. You will be in charge for the first time in Guyana's history. You will take the helm The politicians will do your will honestly and finally with respect. We are changing the rules of the game. You are now at the top, and the politicians will be there to serve you. On this stage, you can see the faces of some of the people who have set aside all matters of ego and have come together. They have bravely stood up and said, we are ready to work to create this new united Guyana. They know that being united is the right thing to do. They know that it is the only thing that will bring much needed relief and progress to the people of Guyana. The Apnu-Afc, remember that name, and remember it when you go to the ballot boxes. The Apnu-Afc will form a new government of national unity, and others will join them. You might rightly ask yourself, what gives me the right to speak to you with such certainty? Who am I? And how am I so certain of an Apnu-Afc victory? I am sure because there is a new generation of us Guyanese that say it is time for unity to prevail. Who am I, you might ask? I am the granddaughter of Rash Bihari Maharaj, a renowned rice farmer on the Essequibo coast who lived in the 1900s. When Mohandas Gandhi sent his emissary to check on the conditions of Indians in the diaspora, my grandfather received him, Reverend C.F. Andrews, and gave him as true a picture of the conditions of Indians in this country. My father, Sugrim Singh, was a lawyer. He spoke Hindi fluently. He sang ghazals. He promoted his Hindu religion by assisting the Swamis who came from India to set up the Kovanjan ashram. He played the sitar. He had a radio program. He was then chosen to take the last indentured laborers back to India. He boarded the MV Resurgent and took those indentured laborers back to India. He completed his task and handed them over to Prime Minister Nehru, who had just become the Prime Minister of that country. But my father accomplished a lot. And I tell you, when he was a kid, he preferred to jump into trenches than to swim. And his family wanted someone to get him back on the straight and narrow so that he would study. And so they sought the help of a village elder. That elder was Reverend Cox. He was black. My mother, Chandra Singh, headed up Indian organizations in Guyana. She would read us poems of Muslim poets Khalil Gibran, Mirza Ghalib, Rabindranath Tagore. She would read her Bible. She chanted the Gayatri mantra and listened to the Hanuman Chalisa. She would shine her Krishnamurti until the brass was as shine as could be. She was the perfect Indian woman. And every time Christmas or her birthday would come around, she would proudly put a card on the table that came from her special son. His name was Aaron. He was black. She took him into our home and she raised him in our home as part of our family. I am a child of these people. India runs in my veins. But for those of you who are wise, you will understand that I am here and I stand here proudly in front of you to say I am a woman and I am Guyanese and everyone is my brothers and sisters. I see no color, and there are hundreds of Guyanese men and women who are just like me. All races are their brothers and sisters. And all I see in every region wherever I go is my fellow Guyanese people, and I have the deepest love and respect for my country.